When in doubt, open up a can of Sean Dyche as the former Burnley manager in his first game as Everton head coach with a fantastic 3 points against the league leaders Arsenal. Now Everton and out of the relegation zone. Wolves are back in it. Fantastic start for Sean Dyche. Luis Miguel Echegaray, LME here. Welcome to ESPN FC. Craig Burley is in the house. Craig Burley, what a win for Everton. Your initial reactions as they win 1-0 against Arsenal?
Well, I mean, perfect new manager bounce, Luis. Everything you would imagine from a Sean Dyche side. As soon as he gets in to the club, a few kicks up the backside, or a lot of kicks up the backside, a few home truths, some fitness tests we saw. For those that follow social media, I think they had a bleep test early in the week, which is pretty unusual for this time of year. But he just wanted to assess where they all were. And then a really solid shape about the side with a 4-4, and then sort of Decore trying to get up and support Calvert-Lewin, working hard, getting crosses into the box with McNeil, in particular down the left-hand side, and Iwobi on the right-hand side. Those two switched during the first half. A real high-intensity performance. So, yeah, I mean, everything sort of Sean Dyche, which you've looked at him from his time at Watford and Burley, and now in it, his biggest job at Everton, everything you would expect, we got. Is it just the fact that there's a new manager in there? Possibly. Is it going to be difficult to keep this sort of intensity and performance level up? Yes, but it was a great start, wasn't it? In particular, when you look at who they were playing against, yeah, they're at home, yeah, the pitch was bobbly, there was a full house, the Everton crowd were up for it, they're desperate. But this Arsenal side, as you know, Lewis, they've been blowing teams away, haven't they? They've been blowing everybody away, and they just could not get it done today.
Indeed, my friend. Indeed. I think you said it right there. Yes, there's maybe a note that can be said about the new manager bounce that always, electrifies a fan base, a team. Yep. But simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, Craig. And I think that's what Everton did today. Just like you said, organized, defensively stout. Two former Burnley players attacking from the Sean Dyche, school of attacking from a set piece. And there you have it, a really valuable 3 points. Let me ask you something, because you mentioned about Arsenal. Is this a bad Arsenal performance, or were they just educated by a more organized, willing Everton side?
No, this was definitely a below par Arsenal performance. Even with Everton pressing and fighting. Listen, when Arsenal were in the hotel last night, talking about and their team meetings or whatever they do, the one thing they would have had to have spoken about, because everybody knows it, as a former player, whenever a new manager comes in and the team are struggling, you're in the dressing room to your mates and say, listen, this is going to be an even tougher fight than it would have been a week ago or 2 weeks ago. They are going to be up for this like it's a Wembley Cup final. So Arsenal would have expected that. They just, when they're taking Martin Odegaard off, that's kind of telling you where they are. He's taking too many touches. He took too many touches today, and it was letting Idrissa again and Nana get to him and get tackles in on him. We never saw the best Odegaard. We didn't see the best Martinelli, who was sub. Mikalenko did a decent job, or better on Bakary Saka. So, yeah, Arsenal and Eddie Nketiah. Listen, the boy has been brilliant coming in for Gabriel Jesus. Absolutely brilliant. But he didn't get much change out of Cody and Tarkowski. So it was definitely a below par Arsenal performance for sure. Listen, nobody said this was going to be easy. Nobody said, and there'll be people out there, and I have to say I'm not one of them, but I think there'll be people out there now looking to jump on this and go, oh, that's it, Man City, Arsenal are going to fold. I think we've seen enough from Arsenal this season, Luis, that suggests that they're made of stronger stuff than that. But now there will be eyes on them to say, how do you respond? How do you pick yourself up? It was always going to be difficult to get over the line in this Premier League. Now we look for a reaction from this Arsenal side.
Yeah, the reaction is going to be key, especially for an Arsenal team that has an average age of, 24.7 years old. Let me stick with Arsenal for a second. 70% possession, Craig Burley. But actually, Everton were the ones with more shots on target. Now, let's talk about those new additions regarding the transfer window that Arsenal had. Leandro Trossard and Jorginho came in with just over 30 minutes left. How do you think they incorporated themselves in this game? And do you think Arsenal did enough in the window to maybe, you know, as you said, how will they react as they try and get this league title for the first time in 20 years?
Well, I was hoping you were going to ask me about the Everton transfer
Let's
window.
go there then. Let's go with Everton.
No,
Let's
because
talk about it.
that would have been a very short answer. He didn't bring anybody in. Sean Dyche. I don't know. I don't know if that was Sean Dyche saying just don't give me anybody. If the player's not out there, just don't bring somebody in for the sake of it. As for Arsenal, I think the consensus is Jorginho is good business, in particular because he's a very experienced player, very good player. Reader of the game, passes the ball really well, which of course Arsenal do. He hasn't got the defensive physicality, I don't think, and ability to read the game defensively like Thomas Partey. But that's okay because he has other facets of his game. I think Trossard just beefs up, obviously, that sort of front line stroke midfield. I think he's a decent signing. I don't think it's a brilliant signing. It's definitely a step down when Martinelli, Odegaard, or Saka are not playing well. There's no doubt about that. And I suppose you have Fabio Vieira in there as well from Porto, who came in and played some part today. Hasn't had much game time. I think they're strong enough. I do. I think they did enough. But I think they had a lot of players just under par today. And that pitch as well. Look, if you think about the game, Lewis, at the Emirates, the pitch is brilliant. They can fizz that ball about. They can move the ball quick from left side to right side. It was difficult to do that today because Everton were harrying, they were harassing. The pitch was dry, the pitch was bobbly. I'm not making excuses, but it is more difficult to play that silky football that we know Arsenal can play on that Goodison field than it is at the Emirates. And Arsenal just didn't cope with that today. And Everton justifiably got the 3 points.
Yeah, well, it was a kind of match, Craig, that reminded me of back in the day when I would watch you play in the 90s. That the best times of the Premier League.
There was too much grass on the field for that.
There was way too much.
Trust me.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.